this is our second event of the evening. It's between Joe Nader and Paul Jeffries.
Joe Nader and Paul Jeffries, the fight before the big one. Paul Jeffries with that unusual looking hairdo. Joe Nader in the black trunks with the white piping. Ooh, a little hurt there with that kick.
Paul Jeffrey, as much as I know on his background, is that he's a hard hitter that's not very skillful, but I believe before...
Oh! What's happened here?
When I spoke to them before the fight stand a few weeks ago, that they were saying that they were out there to knock Joe out.
Well, looks like they're showing it already. A jab right hand, doesn't really land. Joe Nader, very composed, low kick. Paul Jeffries on the left of your screen with the blue trunks and the white stripe. Inside leg kick round. Oh, Joe comes back. Toe to toe they go.
It's a 5 by 2 minute rounds fight. We'll see if it's going to go the distance.
Call Joe exactly an easy son to walk in.
No, definitely not. He's not called a smoking Joe fan, I think.
No, absolutely.
Smoking Joe Nader on the left of your screen. Jab, doesn't really land. Joe Nader waiting a little too long. A front kick there. Let's see Joe be more aggressive. Paul Jeffries being warned there. The kick is a little higher there by referee Joe Lanciano. Dummy right hand, left hook there by Smoking Joe. Left hook there by Paul Jeffries. Then they're going toe to toe. What's going to come out of this? Toe to toe they go. Punches and nothing really landing.
Determination. Do I see it? Ha! This is the word of the day.
Paul Jeffries is from up Ferntree Gully in Victoria, which trains with Peter Clark.
He's out to the
That was our referee earlier on the night there.
out to the east of Melbourne, and big lad, broad shoulders, rangy, in the blue trunks, stepping it up to Joe Nader. One tough fighter, this guy Joe Nader. So this will be no cakewalk for anybody. I'll go down to the wire.
Well, he's undefeated at this point, Joe Nader. Right hand there.
He has got a very nice record, isn't he? He's the 6-0.
And Nader in this so far, correct me if I'm wrong, my experts, that Nader is picking his punches better.
He's composed. I'd like to see Joe Nader myself be a little bit more aggressive. I think one point that we always work with him in the gym is that we want to see him be a bit more aggressive and take the fight to your opponent. Don't sit back and wait. You know, and that's something that we have to wait upon and see if Joe Nader changes in that method. But he's more aggressive, and when he's more aggressive, he's more effective. So we'll see how Paul Jeffries serves out for the second round. As you can see in the corner there, the mid corner with Peter Clark. Also said that he's playing earlier this evening. A big crowd here tonight.
Pete, what's that? Pete got a less than number one haircut, isn't it?
It's called shave. It's the razor there.
Pete's a colourful guy, and a very interesting bloke to talk about with. I've talked to him about training and philosophies.
Well, you're looking at the corner there with Joe Nader, and in front of him was Sam Greco, his mentor for this event. Joe Nader on the left of your screen, Paul Jeffries on your right. That's the referee Joe Lanciano calling for round 2. Pretty slow first round at that point.
I don't think Joe changes his expression all night. Whoops.
Low front kick. And,
excuse me. Time for a breather. And Joe just having a quiet word to Paul Jeffries about that. Giving Joe time to regain his composure. Calling both fighters in, resuming time. And Jeffries, an amazing long legs, capable of those high kicks if he can place them right. Wrestling match going on here at the moment. Break calls the referee. Back again. Jeffries opens the count with a left kick. Nader then lands one on his chin with a left.
Bit of a back fist there.
Toe to toe they go. Joe Nader, uppercut doesn't land.
Tell you what, in these bigger weight divisions, you don't want to cop one of those big uppercuts overhand right now.
Uppercut landed there by Paul Jeffries. I don't think Joe Nader liked that. Pushes him back. So he calls a break. Joe Nader, so keep those hands up. Paul Jeffries, front kick, doesn't land. And the right hand just misses the mark. Joe Nader.
See guys like these guys and Gerald and all those fellas, when they let one go, it really goes, doesn't it? It's a punch and a half.
Right hand landed. Another right hand landed by Smoking Joe. Paul Jeffries. Wearing some punches here.
You've got one sitting here between the two of us right now, yeah? With those big right overhand.
Yeah, I've noticed once or twice.
Yes.
Paul Jeffries.
Paul.
Himself to the canvas. The three coming with his gloves. So tattoos across his chest there. Weaves to the left. Low kick there by Nader. Jabs. Nothing really effective at this point.
Paul's doing a good job. He's clearly the lesser experienced of the two, but he's certainly got it where it takes it. That's at the heart. He's walking this up. Joe Nader in the dark trunks. Paul Jeffries in the blue with the white piping. Heading over towards the blue corner now. Jeffries fighting out of the blue corner in this bout. This is the support.
There's a bit of a pushing going on there with Joe and Jeff. Yes.
Second round. Again, not a very explosive round. Not much in that. Interesting to see how the judges score it personally. Well, Tariq, you're very fortunate promoter, having some major sponsors for this event. Share us your
Yes, after this bout, I will be leaving this for a few minutes and invite my sponsors to the ring and present them some Australians.
Excellent, and great to see corporate Australia now recognising the potential of this great sport and getting behind companies like Southern Motors and various others who are getting bigger and bigger as time goes by. That's fantastic. And let me tell you that the corporate facilities that are available here at these particular venues are excellent, and there's all sorts of opportunities for corporations to become involved in kickboxing.
One of my newest main sponsors is Rux Australia, which is really, Rux is a company that's built in Turkey, and I will be visiting them in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I've got an appointment to visit them, and I believe they'll be sponsoring my next
Seconds out. Round 3.
It's very exciting, isn't it? A great injection. Well done to Kickboxing. Third round. How do you see it, Stan Longanini?
Well, there's not much in at this point. Third round coming up now. Again, not very aggressive, Joe Nader's way. The way I would like to see him. Does he left foot and the right hand there? Doesn't really land. Paul Jeffries. Again, a very unorthodox style. Front kick there.
I'll make some payback after the front kick with the level leg.
Nice uppercut there, but oh, Joe's down! Is he down? Lanciano, not sure what to call. He called it a slip. Wasn't sure where that came from there, Tariq.
It looked like a bit of a slip to me.
Joe Nader, right hand. Paul Jeffries. Jeffries from here looks a bit like he's got the face of Damien Monkhurst from Collingwood. He reminds me of the face of him.
Right.
Not the hairdo anyway. Joe Nader. Left hook right. Oh, left hook landed there.
Oh, Joe's starting to work. Joe's starting to work.
Jeffries in trouble. He's dropping his hands a bit.
He's an awkward fighter, this Paul Jeffries. Even the way he breathes is...
Sometimes these awkward fighters make it difficult for you, and I sense that with Joe Nader. Joe Nader making the use of the right hand. He should step back and give him the rip.
Oh, big roundhouse kick.
And the crowd gets up on their feet. Smoking Joe. Can he unleash now and capitalise on this opportunity? A left hook doesn't land. A right hand doesn't land.
Oh, nice leg kick.
Down.
I think Joe's starting to wear him down, Stan. See, you can see the experience coming out of there, the way he walked out of that corner and catch him with a roundhouse kick to the face.
And that is the difference between these two fighters, isn't it? It's experience versus a newer guy on the block.
Absolutely. I mean, Joe Nader's had a few fights now, and nice low kick there. Left hook. Paul Jeffries under a spot of bother here.
Look at the spread on Paul Jeffries' legs, which he's going to get caught one of those inside leg kicks again, which he just did.
And Joe Nader holding on also. Maybe he's starting to feel a bit of a fatigue also.
He can remember so many things. Not only the aspect of the hands, the legs as well. There's the bell.
End of round 3.
End of round 3 as we go over to the various corners again, and I'm sure that there would be some replenishment required for Paul Jeffries. Knocked down in that last round in round number 3. This competition had been fairly even prior to that. Now Joe Nader showing that experience, a bit of superiority if you like. No disrespect at all. And of course, standing we find is a part of your experience.
You can't turn the legs in. You're not showing now. It's not showing now. Joe Nader is staying close. Really very important. Both guys are cutting loose and mixing it up. You need to see that by the time they break loose, Paul Jeffries looks very tired and his defense is not up to scratch. Looks at Sam Breck out there talking to Joe Nader. Sam Breck, of course, giving him some instructions. So Joe looks very composed and relaxed to the point.
Yes, Joe sort of appears unexcitable. He just gets on with it, focuses and gets in there and does it. And of course, right at the moment, Paul Jeffries in this fourth and final round requiring to play catch-up. So we've got the two fighters out there, Jeffries in the blue trunks, Nader in the dark trunks. Nader has a knockdown in round number 3 to his credit.
Just to correct you, Dean, this is a 5-round bout, not a 4.
Oh, excuse me. And of course,
We have one more round after this.
so 2 to go, which would give Jeffries a chance of catch-up.
Yes.
Absolutely. Joe Nader coming in now, right hand. He wants to press on him now. He'd like to finish it here, I'm sure he would. Joe Nader, he'd like to get this on over and done with. And Paul Jeffries looking at Peter Clark, his trainer, saying, hey, what have I got to do here?
These are the kind of fighters that gives you a lot of injuries then at the end of the fight.
Well, of course, Paul Jeffries from the other side of town with Peter Clark, and we'll be hoping to get a bit of an upset here. I think the critics would have to have him against the odds at this point with Joe Nader.
Little warning to Joe Nader there for holding. And, have a look at
Nice
this.
ball.
Smart jab.
Left hook. Again, Smoking Joe not really jumping on him, trying to finish it. Nice low kick on the thigh. Right hand.
Usually you see Joe a bit more active than that. He's taking
And setting it back to the corner. Setting it back to the corner. What is going to happen here?
New count.
And the fight is all over. The towel has been thrown in.
Yes, his mentor Peter Clark just threw the towel in, thinking that his fighter was getting too damaged there. I think it's that 3rd round roundhouse kick that done the main damage on his chin. He hasn't carried the fight out of reach since then.
Disrespect to this man, Paul Jeffries. I think he'll be back bigger and better than ever from the experiences here tonight, fighting Joe Nader, who's won this on a TKO.